Hi everyone, this is Gavin from Gavin's Gadgets. These are the Technics EAH-A800K flagship wireless headphones. These are cheaper than the Sony WH-1000 XM5s that I reviewed a few weeks ago, and I am going to keep comparing this to the Sony so you can then make a decision which is best, because it's not a clear-cut sort of yes or no, but in certain aspects this is a lot better. So this is the box, the actual hard box, and quite straightforward in that you get the hard case. This case is a lot smaller than the Sony XM5, which you'll find out in a minute why. And in this you get a USB-A to USB-C cable. You get some stuff to absorb moisture. You get a 3.5 to 3.5mm aux cable, so you can use them wired. And look at this, an aeroplane adapter. This is something Sony left out this year. They did not include it. That is really disappointing. The other thing you'll notice, because of the size of the case, let's talk about the physical attributes of this. The first thing we're going to talk about is the movement of the cups. And look, for travel, these fold. The Sony XM5 do not fold. All the Sony XM5 do is the cups turn to that, and the Sony's turn the wrong way around. So when they're on your neck, it's really awkward. With these, they fold up, no problem at all. And also, when you do have, that's what these, you just want to have them hanging like so. That's left, that's right. The Sony has the left on that side and the right on that side, so it has them back to front. These are the correct sides around. What you have here on these each have 4 mics per side. That's 8 in total, to give clear quality calls and also provide some wind noise resistance. I'll talk about the call quality shortly. You have the 3.5mm goes in there, USB-C here, your on-off button, and you've got your up and down and play pause, which also does different things for calls. And then you can have also on the right side, you've got the touch control for turning on and off noise cancellation. But I'll show you some of the options that you can have in the Technics Connect app in a second. Well, actually, let's jump into the Technics Connect app. All right, so when you first turn the app on, you've got the 3 options: the noise cancellation, EQ, and call quality test in front of you, and it shows you the battery level. These are very hard to dial. The battery does have class leading 50 hours with ANC on, and I think if you have ANC off, it goes up to 70 hours. These are battery kings and one of their strong points. You can also then, if you drop into the ambience slide section, you can toggle between noise cancellation off and ambient sound. And if you do pick, say, ambient sound, it shows you an option called attention, and that gives you 2 options when you tap on that: transparent, all sounds around you are allowed in without any change, and attention, which emphasizes the voice. It's not too much of a difference, but it is there. When you click on noise cancellation, you can change the controls from minimum to maximum. You've got a custom EQ, settings off, various different pre-configured options, plus a custom that works well, and it's nice to have. And in the settings, the main settings, you can change the language of the voice prompt, give your headphone a name, change the body cover, add more headphones. On the system ones, auto power off. Always on will not be powered off, so you can change after a certain amount of silence as to how much time you want. Headphone fitting sensor, so when you can turn it on off, and it controls if you want the music paused. I'll talk about that actually, because I don't think it works very well. You can change off the Bluetooth LED flashing light if that's distracting. It's so small, I can't see that being distracting unless it's in a pitch black room at night and you don't want your partner to see any blue flashing light, but it's really, really small. You can turn on multi-point. It does do LDAC in multi-point, and that's quite unique. Again, the Sony XM5s don't have LDAC as multi-point. You can customize the touch sensor, and if you can see the various options there, and you've got the telephone and the various options that you can have on that as well. Touch sensor noise cancellation. You can select 2 or more modes when you push and hold for the noise cancellation. So you could just jump from transparent to on and not worry about having noise cancellation off. On the ambient mode, you can change that as well. And what's really clever is on the noise cancellation, you can actually customize how it does the noise cancellation to make it more effective. And you can see I've gone for about middle. So you go to a really noisy environment and play with the slider there. Level of background noise distractions as well. There's an option there. So you can see lots of customizations on this. You can choose the voice assistants. Amazon Alexa is built in, but it works whether you've got Google or whether you've got Siri, or you can turn it off. And then you've got the firmware updates and other stuff and some other useful information about the headphone itself. So that's before I talk about sound quality, we'll just show you a bit more. So you've got a nice slider here on these, like so. They work very well. They're fairly comfortable. I'll put them on. They've got nice thick pads here, much thicker than the Sony XM5s, and they go on like so. And they offer, because they're much bigger and they enclose the ears better, more noise cancellations, passive noise cancellation. No problem wearing glasses with these as well. The buttons here work well. You do get used to them after a while, and you've got the touch button on the side there. And they fold. All in all, works very well. So first of all, we'll talk about calls. So I did a lot of phone calls on these, and it was average. I suppose average. Even with all these mics, some of the calls were okay, and some of them were average. I think the Sony call quality on the XM5s is slightly better. So no problem with latency on these, so that's pretty good. Because of the thicker pads, these are very comfortable. In terms of audio quality, you've only got 3 codecs, SBC, AAC and LDAC. But unlike the Sony, these can do multi-point in LDAC, Sony's can't. One thing that these do have during playback is they have a sensor built in that every time you take them off, it will turn off the music. And that works fine, except these doesn't work all the time in the sense of you're listening to music and it suddenly stops because it thinks the headphones are off. It doesn't happen every minute. It could be after 15 minutes, it could be after 40 minutes, but it does happen, and it's a pain when it does. And so therefore I actually turn the sensor off, and that's one of the more annoying things on these. They are firmware updatable, which is good. In terms of sonic audio, so if you're just listening for these music, I actually think they sound better than the Sony XM5. The musicality of these is much higher. It's got much more neutral bass. It doesn't emphasize the bass, or it's not bass heavy. The Sony XM5s are very, very much, let's give you some bass. Now you might like that, and that might be a selling point and why you get the XM5s over these. The XM5s, therefore, all that extra bass, probably better for watching films on. But if you just want to listen to music, these sound terrific. The treble is much clearer, it's more concise, it's more, in the mids, much better, more cleaner, more distinguishable, and it has a nice good kick on the bass. But overall, it's the musicality that kicks in on these. These do sound really, really good. And also I noticed you can listen to a vast array of genres, and it handles them really well. But again, as I said, versus the XM5, when it comes to noise cancellation, these are very, very good for noise cancellation. But I do think the Sony XM5s is slightly better on noise cancellation. So really, I think it boils down to 2 things. What's more important, noise cancellation or musicality and music quality? These are better for music quality. The Sony are better for noise cancellation and phone calls or conference calls. but if you could take the good things out of this and put them in the Sonys, you would have probably the perfect headphones. In terms of their transparency mode, yeah, it's okay. You still don't hear an awful lot. It doesn't flood the sound in like the Sony's does, which means the music sounds crap. It's not like AirPods Max, which when you're in transparency mode, you can't even tell the difference practically. It's so hard to tell the difference on the AirPods Max. With this, you have the transparency mode, you can hear a bit more, but because of how these pads are so thick and they encompass the ear, it's really well sealed, and the transparency mode isn't let's make it crystal clear that you can hear everything. It's just let's let in a bit of sound so you can just about hear. And I can have a conversation, but it's a lot harder. And so if I put these on again, they are very comfortable, but I really can't hear everything I'm saying properly because they cancel out the noise. Now, you might have some questions. Let me know in the comments. I'll answer them all. This is Gavin from Gavin's Gadgets. Bye for now.